want to welcome everyone to episode 41 of Brushstrokes and B-Movies. I'm your host, Steve Stones. This evening I have my good friend with me, Doug Gibson.
Hello everybody, how you doing?
And we will be evaluating the 1966 bad movie classic, Manos, The Hands of Fate. So we're going to go ahead and get the movie started.
You got Manos de Piedra, Roberto Duran, and you got Manos, The Hands of Fate.
So here we go.
World's longest driving scene.
So this is El Paso, Texas, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was made, Harold P. Warren made it, right?
Yeah, Harold P. Warren, he was a fertilizer salesman and insurance salesman, if I remember.
Fertilizer, that's kind of ironic, isn't it? I shouldn't say that, I'm sorry. But this scene goes on forever, and you know, I've never warmed to this film as much as you have, but I do enjoy watching it.
Well, and you sent me an article once which was contrasting this movie with Troll 2, and the family here is going to sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat just like they do in Troll 2.
And you wonder if Claudia Fragasso was inspired. That little girl, what's her name, Steve?
Jackie Nyman.
Jackie Nyman, and didn't she write a book?
Yeah, Growing Up Manos was the book that she wrote about her experiences in this film. And that's not her voice that we hear. They actually dubbed her voice later.
And you reviewed that book for Plan9Crunch.com, our blog.
I did.
So go read it, people.
So we should point out the guy behind the wheel is actually the guy that directed this movie.
Never mind, Mike. Debbie can come up and sit between us.
That's Harold Warren? I didn't know that.
Yes, isn't it?
Probably. You're probably right. Yeah, because Harold Warren is in the cast. It's probably him.
Baby. Why don't we sing a song to help pass the time?
This
Here we
movie,
go with Row, Row, Row Your Boat.
Here we go. That perennial classic.
Row, row, row
your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Just gets you going, doesn't it?
So if you're a fan of Troll 2, the family in that film also sings this song at some point.
And there's an episode of the Andy Griffith Show where Barney tries to get people to sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So it's popular in cinema. I like this kind of music. It's the kind of music you might see in a supermarket in the 60s or in a low-budget film like this. That's a pretty cool Manos. Steve, you've done Manos art lots of times, haven't you?
I have.
Lots of Manos art.
So Manos does mean hands, right?
Yes, it does.
So it's like hands of fate.
And there's always a policeman to ruin your vacation. This movie cost $19,000 to make.
I'm glad you researched that because I didn't get a chance to.
Well, it looks like a $19,000 movie.
All right, mister. I see you have a taillight problem.
If I remember when I read the Jackie Nyman book, she was saying that this story was thought up or was influenced by the television show Route 66.
We'll have to check and see if that...
But if you're running late, you should
I think I've heard that somewhere before.
Anyhow, no taillight. Have it fixed. Thank you, officer.
So there's a nice policeman. He didn't give him a ticket.
They have a tail light out.
Yeah. It is sort of funny how this scene goes on and on. It almost looks like a travelogue for East El Paso and surrounding areas. If you've been on a long trip, you can identify.
Manos, The Hands of Fate.
Yeah.
Valley Lodge. That's what the sign says.
They're still in the car. It says here in Wikipedia that Warren made this film as a result of a bet with screenwriter Sterling Silliphant. You know what's interesting? I think Sterling Silliphant wrote The Creeping Terror.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Another so-called bad movie.
We need to watch that sometime.
On this show.
Yeah.
Well, I've done that movie on this show, but we can do it again.
Did you do it already? I'm sorry. We can do it on Plan9Crunch sometime, all right?
Well, I don't mind repeating a movie if it means I can get you to do commentary as well.
Yeah, that'd be fun. This was just will not end this scene. It just is so funny. And I wonder if they comment, because this is a Mystery Science Theater movie also.
Well, that's something else
We got
we
some
could
sex
talk
now
about
in this movie.
That's something else we could talk about, is that this film kind of fell into obscurity until Mystery Science Theater picked up on it in the 90s.
Yes, this is yeah, you're right. You're right.
And then it was kind of resurrected.
Girls, do not let your boyfriends give you alcohol to drink, okay? It did. You know, a lot of films fell into obscurity and revived by Mystery Science Theater, probably, right?
Yeah, this movie was really, what's the word for it? It became revived as a result of Mystery Science Theater.
I don't know if this couple ever has anything to do with the movie, you know that? They just throw it in there. Meanwhile, back in the car.
We're about to meet the most interesting character in the movie, Ford.
Look at that forehead shot, though. You don't see much cinematography with that forehead shot right there.
In the mirror.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of classical cinematography. He's being a little bit arty, don't you think?
Certainly.
Now look, the sign pointed this way.
Oh, I should point out that this print that we're watching is a digitally remastered print by Synapse Films. So it's the best print that I've ever seen of this.
So there's no
film.
Blu-ray out for this yet, you know?
It is the Blu-ray.
Oh, it is the Blu-ray. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay, great. I'm glad you have it.
It's in, you know, if you look at public domain prints of this film, they're really worn out.
Yeah, this is a nice print. But I mean, how long do we have to look at the guy's forehead? It just goes on forever. I'm trying to read the stations on the radio station or something. Radio. Bum, 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 bum,
Manos, the Hands of Fate.
Manos, the Hands of Fate. There they are again, making out. That cop. Can I watch, fellas?
Whatever you're doing, go do it somewhere else. Whatever you're not doing.
You kids.
Man. You think we're doing something wrong. Well, whatever it is you're not doing, don't do it somewhere
There it
else.
is. There's the one.
That's a great line. That's a great line.
Why don't you guys leave us alone?
Because we like to be voyeurs.
Come on now, no wisecracks. Just go on home. Okay.
This is El Paso, Texas, and we don't have much else to do.
I'm thinking they were probably going to go on home pretty soon after this anyway. So that's a cool little car. I don't know if I could fit in it though. My wife had one of those little tiny cars. I can't remember what they're called. And I couldn't fit in it when we were married.
So
It was a Miata. Miata, I think.
You know, if I were to come up with the 5 greatest cult movies of all time, I would certainly include this film in my top 5.
Well, it's got something. I mean, it wouldn't be, people wouldn't be watching it today if there wasn't something, I don't know the term, I don't want to use the adjective horrendous, but something very unique about this movie.
Well, there's some surrealism in it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just like Robot Monster.
That's true. That's a good point. I just want to, where's that kissing couple again? I want to see what's going on with them.
Well, we haven't seen the last of them.
There is some art in this film that I'm sure you find interesting. We'll see later.
Yeah, the painting
Yeah.
of the master with his
Where
dog.
did this place come from? It wasn't here a few
And the
minutes
bronze
ago.
casted hand, I think it's bronze casted.
And,
Look, there's someone at the door.
Forgo.
okay. Let me tell you something. I'm always filled with sadness when I see John Reynolds, okay, because of what happened in his life. But he is probably the best performance in this film, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely.
He reminds me of Dwight Fry a lot.
In Dracula or in
Probably more Dracula.
the Vampire
I mean,
Bat. Or,
It's so. I look at this kid and I think, gosh, he's going to commit suicide. I feel bad watching this sometimes. You know that Harold Warren was very active in the theater scene in El Paso.
well, and that's what the Jackie Nyman book points out is that all these people, and if you watch the extras for this disc, it points out that all these people were all a part of the same theatrical group in El Paso, Texas.
That's cool. You know, you talked about Route 66. Warren once had a walk-on scene in Route 66 where he met screenwriter Silifant, and that's where the bet was made.
So I've done a painting of Torgo before, holding that.
I know, it's a great painting. You've done some great stuff on Manos.
I've considered painting it again.
But the child, I'm not sure the master would approve. Or the dog.
The master wouldn't
The
approve.
master doesn't like children.
We only want to know where Valley Lodge is.
Which way do we go? There's no place like that.
So
around
Mr.
here.
Warren there on the right in the previous scene there, he's directing this film. I believe he's in his late 40s, and the woman that plays his wife is still a teenager.
Well, we all want a trophy wife, don't we? Okay.
Well,
I'm in
Torgo,
trouble
which way
now.
is out
All
here?
right.
She's like, what, 17, I think?
Was she 17?
I think
There
so.
is no way out of here.
This movie would cost in 2023 $178,000 to make.
No way out.
Also, none of these people got paid because Warren promised them a share of the profits.
I don't want to stay here. I don't like the looks of the place.
Well, it seems we have no
Well, see,
alternative.
this is what makes a great cult movie. I mean, you consider someone like Ed Wood, the backstories, the stories of how a movie got made
Mike, I don't
is
want to
often
stay
more
here.
important
And the
or
master
just as
wouldn't approve.
interesting and just as
Don't worry
important
about
as
it.
the movie
We're here now.
itself.
I'm sure the master
Yeah, and there were
knows
problems. They had a 16 millimeter camera,
how
and it was wound by hand with up to 32 seconds of footage. Those are some of the editing problems. So they had to overcome a lot of stuff, didn't they, to make something, to get this on the screen. And you love that about low-budget films. They're doing everything they can to get the movie out.
Well, and it seems like a lot of the sounds like it was dubbed in later.
Oh, they all sound effects and dialogue were overdubbed in post-production.
Just like in The Creeping Terror.
They do a better job of making it look real, though, than the Creeping Terror does.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, they made an effort to try to make a good movie. You got to give them credit for that. This film originally had a working title called The Lodge of Sins or The Fingers of Fate were two titles.
That's right. You and I have both written an article about this film on Plan9Crunch, which is our blog.
We have 2 or 3 reviews, at least 2 reviews plus your review of the book, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very well. The master will be very disturbed.
Bum, bum, bum.
I'll get the luggage.
So his legs are meant to look like a minotaur
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
for whatever reason.
They are. You know, this was filmed on a ranch of a lawyer who shared an office floor with Warren and later became a judge in El Paso. His name was Colbert Coldwell.
You know, there's a video game, I believe it's put out by Nintendo, of this movie, Manos, the Hands of Fate, and it was made in the 90s.
Wow, we should find that. Steve, you know stuff about music. Are there any groups that have stuff involving this? Do you know of?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
I'll have to look and see.
So here's some of that art you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting art in here, avant-garde art.
Well, we haven't seen the oil painting of the master yet.
Yeah, that's probably a highlight. Okay.
See, you're feeling better already.
Who is Diane Mayhui? Who does he play? Who does she play? Let me see if I can find out. Let me go to the cast.
One of the master's concubines.
Let me
or
see.
whatever.
I'm looking for the cast here. Plot. Come on, cast. She was a West Texas beauty queen or something, alright? And I'm having a horrible time trying to find the cast here. I think she might be the wife in this movie. You know that? Because she's third bill. She was a West Texas beauty queen.
There's that painting.
Yeah, that's a cool painting, isn't it?
Absolutely. Very thick brush strokes on there.
You know what the dog's name in the movie is?
I forgot.
Peppy.
Oh, Mike, I'm scared.
I only know because I just read it
He
here.
has the meanest look.
He has the meanest look.
I'd hate to run up on him in the dark or even in the light for that matter.
To me, he just looks like an intense young man.
Isn't there a cult film called Voltan, the Hound of Dracula?
Yeah, Zoltan, I think
Or
it is.
Zoltan, yeah.
Hound, yeah.
That's Zoltan. It kind of looks like him.
It does, doesn't it?
At least in the painting, anyway.
Okay, here's the cast. Yeah, Diane Mary is the beauty queen. She's the wife. And you're right, the guy looks a lot older than her. Tom Naiman is the master.
That must be your master.
Come sit on this soiled couch over here.
The master's wives were played by Stephanie Nielsen, Sherry Proctor, Robin Redd, Pat Coburn, Betty Burns, and Pat Sullivan.
No matter where he
The
goes,
makeout couples were Bernie Rosenblum, love that name,
that dog
and Joyce Moller.
is the most vicious-looking animal I've ever seen.
Well, I hope he goes where the master goes. There is nothing to fear.
Is that a cat or is that a
The
stag?
master likes you.
Well, that's supposed to be a dog.
That's a dog next to him, yeah.
That's what I was saying. He looks like that Zoltan.
Dog, okay, that's what you're saying. All
Hound
right.
of Dracula.
I gotta kick my eyes off Wikipedia.
No man of not dead where you know it. He is with us always. Not dead the way you know
Oh,
it.
and that dog will make an
With us
appearance.
always.
Mike, I don't like this.
Nothing to worry about. It's only your imagination.
Just don't worry your silly little head, right? I watch a lot of these 50s movies and 60s movies. You can see the sexism in them, to be honest, all right? It doesn't bother me, but, like, they're always the protectors, you know, in these movies.
I show you to the best movies now.
He always gives the impression when he walks up behind these two like he's going to club them with that pole that he's got,
Mike, what was that?
and yet he never does.
In the desert. Nothing to be afraid of.
Oh, you know what? She was not the West Texas Beauty Pageant winner. She was a finalist.
Michael, I don't care what it is. Chase it away.
Well, if you watch the
Okay,
extras
it'll make you
on this
relax. I'll promise you
disc,
what it
she
is.
talks about that.
And the actress, the master's wives, which we'll see later, there was a modeling agency. Okay, this is interesting, all right? The teenage girl making out was supposed to be one of the master's wives, but she broke her foot. So he retained her by keeping her in a car.
Notice how she doesn't have the bonnet on her head anymore.
Oh, good point
And then
there.
when they go back in the house, she's got it on again. It's a continuity error.
Yeah, there are a lot of continuity errors. Is Peppy dead?
Yeah.
Well, Peppy's bit the dust.
So she still doesn't have it on.
She lost
And then
it.
when they go back in the house, she's got it on again.
What happened?
He's dead. Peppy's been killed. Get back in the house, honey.
Mike, what kind of place is this? My God, what kind of place is this?
I'll take care of everything, honey. Get back in the house.
So here, let's see. It should show her with that bonnet back on her head.
Look at that. This is a Blu-ray, and still look at the wear and tear. Did you notice the moths? You can see moths, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they
See, she's got the
bonnet back on. Moths would attack. They shot night for night because these people had day jobs, and when they tried to film at night, the moths surrounded the cameras. So you'll see police far away, actually.
Mike. Oh, Mike, what could have done it?
That's
Honey,
a
it was
filthy
probably
couch.
survivors in the desert.
I know it's actually kind of a filthy room, to be honest.
Peppy? You went away, baby. Went away while you were asleep. Mike, I want to leave this place. Now.
Okay, honey, we'll leave right away. Where the hell is that caretaker? Targo!
Yeah, it's just...
Targo!
Did you want me?
We're leaving. Would you mind putting the luggage back in the car?
As you wish.
Right now. Fast, damn it, fast!
Come on, Torgo, move. Of course, plot number 87651, the car won't start, right?
Yeah, it's always a cliche in movies is the protagonists can't get away because their car won't start.
You know, this film actually played at some drive-in theaters in West Texas and New Mexico. So it did have some screening. Here's Torgo. Torgo like.
I'll be glad to leave. I've had all of this place I want.
Madam, it will be very dangerous to leave now. The master wants you.
Want me? What kind of talk is that?
He wants you for his wife. He loves beautiful women.
These close-up shots of faces are...
Yeah, that's the thing they do in Dragnet. Jack Webb loved close-ups of faces. Torgo, what are you doing? Touch, Torgo, touch. Once again, I feel bad because this kid committed suicide with a shotgun before the film even premiered.
She doesn't make any attempt to pull away from him.
She looks like she's going to give a tiny scream. Torgo, look at the hair on your chest. That's a cool little thing he's holding, though, with the hand right there. Manos.
Well, the guy that plays the master, he made it.
Yeah.
He made most of the art in this film. I'm forgetting the actor's name.
Yeah, wasn't it Tom Naiman?
Yeah.
Poor helpless woman can't fight back against a guy who can barely move. What's interesting is the majority of the cast and crew never appeared in another film, although she had a successful modeling career under the name of Diane Adelson.
Let me out of here. Let me out of here.
Why don't you
now.
walk around him?
Do you hear now?
Forgive me, madam. I meant no harm.
Forgive you? Just wait till I tell my husband.
I meant no harm, madam. I'll protect you. I'll protect you.
Very well. Won't tell my husband. Now let me out.
Well, she's being merciful.
Imagine the damn car won't start.
Did he really say that, do you think?
You're thinking it was dubbed in later?
Well, obviously it was, but
What are we going to do now?
it just seems like this guy and suddenly a voice comes.
Hey, Torgo, where's the phone? Yes, Alexander Graham Bell, you know, telephone.
There is none, sir. The master doesn't approve of such devices.
Then where is the nearest phone?
The nearest phone is at the crossroads. That's 10 miles.
10 miles? Might as well be 10,000 miles.
Did you read that Jackie Naiman attended the University of California, Berkeley?
The master won't mind you staying.
I don't
tonight.
remember that.
Well,
no.
she, according to her, she could not find a copy, she and her friends, when they were looking for the movie when she was in
I'll
college.
just bring the bags back to the room.
Some people say it was on a local television station in the early 80s for only $20 rental. And they think the film was found by a 16mm print from television package.
Soon this place will be forgotten.
Well, I've got a public domain print of this film that oldies.com/alpha video puts out, and it's not nearly as good as this print.
I hope so, darling.
You know,
She's my baby. She'll understand.
the El Paso Herald-Post actually reviewed this movie.
Say, where is she?
At the time of its release in
Yeah.
1966.
Yeah,
Don't get
by
wrote up. She's
Betty
going for
Pierce,
tonight.
the film reviewer. I
Okay,
wonder if I
Debbie,
can
we'll see
find
you.
this
Come out
review.
wherever you are.
Maybe she slipped into one of the rooms.
Debbie?
Debbie!
Debbie?
Of course, that paper doesn't exist anymore. But I'm going into the web archive here.
Torgo, have you seen Debbie?
No.
She's gone. Help us find her.
Torgo, you gotta help find her.
She couldn't have gone outside. The
Okay.
door's bolted.
For God's sake, don't panic. She's got to be in here.
Oh, I'm just gonna have to read what it says in
Isn't it right to be
Wikipedia.
outside?
She criticized Torgo being massaged to death by the master's wives, and Margaret's claim of it's getting dark with a bright
That
midday
door's
sun.
bolted too.
But she called it a brave experiment, though.
She's got to be outside.
All right, we'll look outside for her. Debbie?
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 Debbie? Mike, I'm scared. The animals and the desert.
Let it out.
There's those moths.
Well, they're probably attracted to the camera lights that
They said on Wikipedia where the camera was, there were just hundreds of moths, so they had to shoot.
We'll find her.
They
Don't
had to
worry.
focus close-ups and shoot long shots.
Debbie?
Do you remember the Entertainment Weekly article about this movie?
I think you copied it for me.
Yeah, it called it the worst movie ever made.
Well, with all the movies that you and I have sat through, we can tell you with great confidence that this is not.
No, this is not the worst.
Off from the portrait.
Stand back,
I
Debbie.
mean,
Stand back.
you've seen. We've watched a little bit of John Gel, okay? Or something by David the Rock Nelson. Conrad Brooks meets the vampire or werewolf or something.
What's that Anthony Isley movie with Frankenstein in the title? That was pretty bad.
Frankenstein's not that Frankenstein. No, that's a nasty movie. Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. There's the werewolf, the mummy, and something.
Yeah, that's.
Cinema Stinky, I called it.
Where did
It's
you
got
find the new
Anthony
girl, baby?
Isley. in
Yeah,
it.
I don't think was Frankenstein in that movie. I have to watch it again. I know there was a mummy in it.
Oh, maybe it was the mummy. You're right, it was.
And Mighty Gorga, where the ape is just a face the whole time.
Where is the
Now
place,
those are
Debbie?
bad movies. Or do you know that they've had sequels to this movie?
I tried to sit through the sequel to this movie.
Yeah,
think
so the
and
sequels.
I could not get through it. I just thought it was. I thought it tried too hard to be cultish.
Well, you know what? Nyman Jones is in this, and so is Tom Nyman. And Diane Marie. They must have had fun at least. What was it called?
Let's go.
Manos Returns. Wait, in 2013 they made a movie called Manos: The Rise of Torgo. But you haven't seen Manos Returns, have you?
That's the one I watched and I couldn't.
Okay, that's the bad one. All right. Because that was on Amazon Prime for a while. It says here there is a video game, Steve.
Yeah, because one of my former students, after I did a painting of Torgo, and the title of it was Torgo from Manos: The Hands of
Yeah.
Fate.
Do you think there's any
He-
chance...
he
Oh, go on,
sent-
I'm sorry.
He sent me a message and he says, "Well, wait a minute, is that a movie, Steve? Because I have a video game called Manos: The Hands of Fate."
Do you think there's any chance that these actresses, the wives, were inspired by Black Cat woman in the movie? I doubt it, but that's how I keep thinking, you know.
They got these red cloths that cover their pubic area all the way down to their legs.
Well, you know, you don't want to put it in the nudie theaters, all right? There's supposed to be a scene where the director wanted Diane Mary to take her top off, and when she refused, he just said it was a joke.
She talks about that on the audio,
Does she?
on the extras on this disc.
It's Torgo is cool. I wish Torgo was more iconic. He's a little bit iconic, but I think he was channeling Dwight Fry a little bit, although I can't prove that. There's those moths again. She does a really good job of looking unconscious, okay?
Well, she's not even tied up to the pole.
No.
It's almost like they're zombies.
Putting a scene where he's just looking at it for like 15 seconds, the pacing is unbelievable here. There's the master.
And there's the hound.
Aha. I mean, you got the master, you got Torgo, you got Dracula, you got Renfield, and you got conflict later where they wonder if they're doing the right thing. I look so beautiful.
Torgo's going to be a peeping Tom here.
That's the scene, right? Boy, they sure have Jackie, what's her name, Nayran? They have her sleeping most of the time, don't they? Here's the scene. Could you please take off your blouse? No, I will not.
Here he is being the peeping Tom.
Torgo, come on. You know, it's funny. They have the scene of nudity in the Beast of Yucca Flats. It's like these producers want to find some way to get it into a movie theater.
Well, so there's a number of public domain films or public domain prints of that film that cut that out.
I know they do, because Mystery Science Theater did. But I'm sure in the 60s it played that way. Because I saw the old ads, and they tended to be in adult theaters, the Beast of Yucca Flats.
Well, Coleman Francis probably felt like that was his best way of
Getting some money back.
Earning any money from that film.
But you know, so Torgo's the henchman now, huh?
That was kind of a ridiculous blow to his back. I mean, it wasn't very convincing, but
no. Only my first yawn, people, okay? I do love this movie. Once again, these scenes take so long to follow through. He knocked him out. Can we break to something else now?
the moths are still pretty bad.
I wonder if the Blu-ray enhances the moths, because I don't recall seeing so many moths in the older prints.
Well, the person that digitally remastered this film, they interview him a number of times on the extras on this film, and he talks about the process of remastering the film.
You know, Steve, if you still know Jackie Naaman Jones, we should do a video podcast of her talking about this movie and the sequel she was in.
Well, she was very appreciative when I wrote an article about her book.
That might be fun. Okay, now he's tied him up. So now, is this scene ever going to end? That's probably the best cinematography shot I've seen in this film.
What about his reflection in the mirror in the car?
Yeah, that was just that was revolutionary. Haven't seen that in a long time. Ever since I looked at myself in the car mirror. Torgo is awake. Torgo, you must brush your... Not Torgo, that's the master, and he must brush his mustache.
I guess Tom made his own outfit here, too.
You know, Tom didn't make any money, but he won his bet. A man and his dog.
Those are supposed to be red hands on his outfit when he lifts his arms up.
Does it?
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. You know this film. You know, of course, that when they premiered this film. Oh, here we're back to the couple. I mean, there's absolutely no reason to have this shot, but it is, fun to watch them kiss, I guess.
When this movie premiered, finish your thought.
Okay, when the movie premiered, he rented a limousine, and it went around the block with every cast member. So they got out, a new cast member got in, so they could be seen exiting the limousine. That's a true story. And apparently, Jackie Naiman, she cried during it because she didn't realize someone else was doing her voice.
Yeah.
And Diane Mayhew had the giggles throughout the whole movie.
Well, I hear that a number of people got up and left this movie
Wow.
because they were so bored with it.
Probably. There's the voyeur cop. He's just cruising around, hoping he can see them make out again. If he's more patient, he probably gets to see more.
It's the one keeper in the desert.
Find them and kill them a while.
We know that this road goes nowhere, so now get.
It's the road to nowhere.
We ain't trying to jump on you. Just get.
You know what? Dan Neal of the Los Angeles Times in 2005 said why this film has appeal. Do you agree, Steve? After screening Manos for probably the 10th time, I've concluded it has to do with intimacy, because it is such a pure slice of Warren's brain. He wrote, directed, produced, and starred, and brooked no collaboration. Manos amounts to the man's cinematically transfigured subconscious. Sounds a little bit like gobbledygook to me, but I do think it is.
What does all that mean? But
No, I think it does have an appeal. It's unique. You can't replicate this film, and you can prove because we've seen a couple of the. They always try remakes of these movies, and they always bomb out. It has to be unintentional.
well, you've said to me on a number of occasions that you can't intentionally try to make a cult movie. A cult movie is a result of what happens after it's made.
Exactly.
And the audience makes it a cult film, not the filmmakers themselves.
That's true. Here's what Manos buff Bobby Thompson said. It's like a train wreck. You just can't take your eyes off it.
Yeah. Well, I call him an ugly lost puppy that you want to take home and
Exactly.
nurse back to health.
Yeah. Give it the respect it deserves. This guy's too young, but that was a director, wasn't he? He must have been a young man.
See, this is some of the surrealism
Of the film, definitely.
coming up here. Especially when the women start fighting each other and they're rolling around on the ground. And
I think we could do a Plan9Crunch most surreal scenes with this movie. Definitely. Look at the hands. Look at that. The old Brunner statue.
Manos will be done. Thy priesthood remains steadfast, thy priesthood remains constant, thy
They have a
priesthood
priesthood here.
remains righteous. Thou hast taught us, O Manos, and we have listened.
see, that's supposed to be hands
Give ear to our
on
words, O
his
Manos, and hear us.
costume.
Hear us. Hear us.
You're right. It does
Those
look
are-
like it a little bit.
Those are hands.
And thou art
They're big
our God.
hands. This guy looks a little bit like
My wives,
Xander
hear
Zarkov,
to the words
who
of
plays
Manos.
the vampire in Dracula vs. Frankenstein.
Arise,
I always
my
thought he
wives,
kind of looked like
and hear the
Freddie
will of Manos.
Mercury, the singer of Queen.
Well, you're right, he does, but that's probably a better analogy. I'm just not into music like you are. But yeah. You ever see the Freddie Mercury bio?
That was excellent.
It's a good movie. So now he's got nagging wives.
Concubines.
They're fighting constantly. Look at him. He's exasperated. I go through this every night.
Why has a child been brought here? Why? And a female child at that.
Ay, 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 ay.
I have never complained about sacrificing a man. But a child, the woman is all we want. The others must die. They all must die. We do not even want the woman. The child is a female. She must not be destroyed. She will grow up to be a woman. She must be killed. No.
You can see occasional lights off in the background, like a car's driving by.
Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it?
The child must die. If you persist in this foolishness, your usefulness will come.
You know, Riff Track did this too, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
And I have it.
Yeah, we didn't go see that one though, did we? 'Cause that was in film theaters.
You're close enough, Trouble. I think perhaps your service to
Well, I
us
have a
is at
Mystery
an
Science
end now.
Theater version of this.
So do I, and I think you can see it on YouTube too. There is a musical stage adaptation called Manos Rock Opera of Fate.
Torgo. He's the one. Get Torgo.
There's even a puppet show called Manos, The Hands of Felt.
We shall dispose of you later.
Yeah, that's on here. That's one of the extras.
Oh, it's one of the extras?
Yeah, it's one of the extras on this disc.
It's a terrible mistake. The man, yes. The child, no. Maybe she's right. Maybe we should spare the child.
In 2011, they found the original 16mm work print for this movie.
Well, that's about the time that this was remastered. They
That's probably what they used.
They used that print.
Yeah, the guy's name who found it was Ben Solove, and he preserved it for
He's the
Blu-ray.
one that's interviewed on this disc.
Why are you so
He
jealous
talks
of
about the
me?
restoration process.
Oh, cool.
You are a troublemaker. You deserve to die.
Now, is there a bonus
Die.
feature called
I may
Grindhouse?
die, but I do not
On
care.
here?
Yeah, I just
I
The
don't
child must
remember.
live. She is right.
We can
will not
look.
kill the
I
child.
mean,
yeah.
But Manos would not approve. The law of Manos exists for us only. Manos loves women. She will grow up to be a woman. She must die.
So the debating is taking her as one of his future wives, right? That's a little creepy. Here comes the cat fight.
I'm intrigued by the lighting
Years of
here
this, he will
because
be furious.
everything in the background is a very deep, dark black, and then everything where they're
You are all
standing is
mad.
very well
Mad,
lit.
the whole lot of you.
I think this was
Mad,
filmed
yes.
at night, to be honest. They
Child, no.
must have found some way to light it. I don't know why anybody thought this would be titillating,
Do
alright?
you remember if UEN Sci-Fi Friday ever showed this film? Because I think they did once.
They might have, I just can't tell you for sure.
Oh, excuse me.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. You know, Alpha Video had a Manos release.
Yeah, that's. I was talking about that print earlier.
And
Because Alpha Video,
excuse me,
Alpha Video and Oldies.com are the same.
same thing. Do you have? Is this a Shout Factory?
No, this is Synapse.
Okay, so now you're right. Shout Factory has a special edition that has both Mystery Science Theater and the uncut versions.
There's Zoltan, the Hound of Dracula.
The Sultan, the Hound. He looks like a cute little puppy. You know that?
Kind of like your critters.
Yeah. Our dogs are so frightened by the fireworks on the 24th. Jeez, I felt so bad for them. Wake up, Torgo. You know, this movie's probably been about 35 minutes, and I feel like I've been watching for 90 right now. No offense. Torgo, get up. Get up. I wonder if they went to the Lee Strasberg Acting Academy.
I don't know what that noise is. I think my neighbors are out on the landing
Well, maybe they're rocking to the sound of Torgo. I don't know.
So my apologies there.
Master, what are you doing here?
Your hair is not combed.
You have failed us, Torgo. I know of your visits to the tomb.
My visits?
I'm loyal to you,
No one has
Master.
told me. They may not be able to say anything or move when you're there, but they remember everything you say to them and everything you do to them.
Yeah, I gotta paint him
Master,
again.
you have 6 wives. Why can't I have one for myself?
You're not one.
That's a reasonable request, all right.
Therefore, you cannot have one of them.
But I have one now. This one is mine. You'll never get her.
You have failed us, Torgo. For this you must die.
Failed you? No. You have failed yourself.
Gosh, the guy that plays
You never killed them.
Naaman reminds me of somebody. The way he talks.
Failed, and you must die.
Can't remember the actor though. It's driving me crazy. I wonder if it's a dubbed guy in some Japanese monster movie. Master, beat me, torture me. Let's just aren't Bela Lugosi's eyes.
White zombie.
Yeah.
Need to trim those nose hairs.
He
though.
should. You know what? Is this what he does to kill Torgo? I'm kind of underwhelmed by this, alright.
No, I think he cuts off his arm at some point.
Manos,
That's actually a cool shot. You should do something with that.
I've already painted him with his arms out like that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't you remember?
No, I'm getting old. I'm 60, almost 61 years old.
thy
I'll
will
even
be
send
done.
it to you.
Send it to me. I'll put it on the Plan9Crunch page.
Yeah, I did a painting of him with his arms out like that.
Okay. So he got. Looks like he's wearing granny underwear in there. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't surmise too much.
I'll seduce this guy while he's tied up to the tree.
Well, look. I mean, these women are forced to be there with Tom Naaman as the master. You definitely understand why they seek other males. I wonder how they keep their hair so nice out there in the middle of nowhere.
It's got to be hot too, I would think, out in the middle of the desert of El Paso.
Definitely, definitely.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
There was supposed to be a sequel called Manos, The Search for Valley Lodge, but they got into production disagreements and they canceled it.
I guess there's Manos dolls that you can purchase.
Well, I'd rather have a doll of Torgo, to be honest. Meanwhile, back at the fight.
We're not fighting.
Hey, Torgo's still around. Okay.
Oh, the moths are still really bad.
This makes no sense. I'm sorry. You would think that people like that would be completely subservient, like Dracula's wives, you know, not fighting. This almost seems like a scene out of Glenn or Glinda that Merle Connell shot. You know those inserts?
They're like teenage or juvenile delinquent.
Well, no, remember the movie Glenn or Glinda where they go into a long sequence of women fighting or bondage sequence?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got to put her slip back on if she goes outside. Ooh.
Please, God, where's Mike?
Another peeping Tom. Dun, 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 dun.
Stop! What foolishness is this?
Do they sell a Manos cape like that?
There you are. She is the one.
I'm not
Like
certain.
to wear one for Halloween or something.
It seems like you sent me an article about 5 years ago that this film was screened at the Museum of Modern Art in New York.
I thought that was the Take It Out and Trade remake.
This was screened at the Museum of
Oh,
Modern
it was?
Art.
Okay, I'll have to
I
look
don't
it
know
up.
if they have it in their archives, but
Well, this film was also rescreened not at the same theater, because that maybe no longer was in business, but right in the same street as the original screening.
There's been enough trouble. Our purpose must be served.
We must
There will be
attack
no
the
further
guillotine.
insolence.
But the child.
We cannot kill a child.
Yes, we can.
You have caused enough trouble. As soon as we have disposed of Torgo, we shall take care of you.
Your power fails you. I have no more fear.
Seize her and prepare her for sacrifice.
Sacrifice? Is it like a god they sacrifice her to? It's been several years since I saw this film, but I've seen it at least 4 or 5 times. They don't actually burn her, do they?
they don't actually what?
It's not a burning in this movie, is there?
I don't remember either.
Well done, my wives. The will of Manos shall be served.
But he does get his... I think he gets his arm cut off or burned off.
Torgo should have stood up for himself more. I really don't think that Manos guy is pretty tough, to be honest. I haven't seen amazing feats of strength from him.
It is the will of Manos that he be sacrificed.
This guy's described as a leader of a polygamous pagan cult. I wonder if our friend Jeff Clark would like this movie.
Kill. Manos has decreed it.
I wish I could show it to Dom Porter.
Kill. Kill.
He's not very open-minded about bad movies, is he?
Well, I don't know. He didn't like Andy Milligan's movie, but seeing it the first time, I can't blame him.
Although he is a Divine fan, right?
Yeah, he likes Divine. He also likes the Clint Eastwood's stuff like that, spaghetti westerns.
Mike, help us. Oh my God.
Things I'd like to say that I won't say because this is being broadcast. Okay, he's been. I don't know. Because of this film's pacing, you don't know if he's been tied up for 19 minutes or 19 hours.
Well, the sun hasn't been up again.
You know, you ever seen that movie where the guy gets to choose his death, and he gets chased off a cliff by a bunch of beautiful women? Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah.
Torgo gets beaten to death by a bunch of beautiful women. I think the master has to be back in 12th grade class, next in the morning.
Margaret, open the door. Margaret, open the door.
Oh, she heard him. This is a very surreal movie, you know, it is.
All this, these sequences here, you know,
Dun, dun,
it
dun.
didn't get really surreal until the master showed up.
Well, the master is the key to this movie being successful. But I still think you could have made a movie just with Torgo. Alright?
Well, that's what it was. His arms.
Oh! 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 Poor Torgo. I hope he burns his fingers.
Killing doesn't help anymore. You're all finished.
You've said enough. Your turn will come as soon as we've disposed of the others. Go find the others. Hurry, before the night slips away.
Okay, this master guy, does he want to attract followers? Or does he just want to kill people and keep his 4 or 5 women? There's so many questions that arise from
The
this
window,
movie.
Mike. I
She's
saw
still
it.
wearing her
That
slip.
window.
Okay, honey, we'll leave. We'll leave.
We've got to leave now. I can't stand it any longer. Please, Mike.
We'll hide in the desert. Someone will help.
God will destroy you. Your power fails. You cannot endure.
Destroy. The gods destroy me.
You know, apparently the crew made fun of Naaman during the movie. They called him,
I am permanent.
because he was so
Manos has made me
inexperienced,
permanent.
they called him,
Your power
where is it
fails
here?
you. You are losing your control.
Oh, I gotta find
Even
it.
Torgo defied you.
Called it mango something fruit.
He was destroyed, even as you shall be.
Your power does not affect me anymore. Even your other wives do not trust you. See, I do not fear you, even though you
History.
beat me. Beat me again. Beat.
They said Warren's small crew became so bemused by his amateurishness and irascibility that they derisively called the film Mangos, the cans of fruit behind his back.
I do not fear you.
Torgo wants his hand back.
I think he does. I would want her hand back.
Go on. Take Debbie and run.
No, darling, we'll make it. Let's go.
Keep going, you can do it.
Nothing of that way.
The premiere was in November 1966. It was supposed to benefit a local. It benefited a local cerebral palsy fund. Warren also rented a searchlight to give it more pizzazz, you know.
That's a way to get some extra attention.
Mike, are you all right?
Damn.
Warren thought Manos was the worst film ever made, but he was nevertheless proud of it. He thought about redubbing it into a comedy.
We've got to keep going.
They actually had a distributor named Emerson Film Enterprises, mainly drive-ins.
They're gone. They're left the house.
They're gone. Go get them.
We have searched everywhere.
You know, I don't believe this, but they say the only compensation was Jackie Neyman's bicycle and her family dog, 50 pounds of dog food. That sounds like a legend to me, all right?
Find them.
They don't have any official box office receipts for this movie on file.
Find them. Manos will be served.
But you know, I think that so much people enjoy it now that it was worth the $19,000 they spent on it.
Well, it's got a following now.
I mean, how many times can Diane Mary fall down?
I can't take it, Mike.
All right, we'll let you go.
Save baby. Save Debbie.
I really think the dad could beat him up in a fight. Okay, I'm just going by body size and everything. I wonder who made that outfit.
Remember I said earlier that it was him?
Oh, Naaman made it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. All right.
Because they interview him too, and he talks about how he makes the costumes and the art in this
No, Maggie,
movie.
we can make it.
You know, Naaman thought about trying to get public domain for this, and he had a brief
They'll never think of looking for us at the
brief
house.
legal fight, I think, with the guy that found the 16 millimeter, but it was unresolved. The
Listen, we
issue.
can lock ourselves in the kitchen. I have my gun.
Oh, look, a new person in the film.
You're a bad shot.
Yeah.
We'll have to go back.
Okay. It might be the safest place, especially since
I
you're
actually
out
don't
in
know why they just don't start walking. I mean, they know where the road is. That sheriff is going to come along sometime. He's everywhere else during the movie.
Well, here he is again.
Yeah. Looking for girls and guys making out.
We don't have anything else better to do.
Not in that part of the world. You know, Warren tried to pitch another script he'd written called Wild Desert Bikers, but there was never any interest in it, unfortunately, for
Well,
him.
sound does travel a long way at night. It could be clear over in Mexico, for that matter.
You know, Comedy Central found this movie because a film supplier sent them a box of movies, and Frank Conniff of Mystery Science Theater chose this to be one of the films. Your Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Boy, the moths even make their way into the
They're
house.
everywhere. Okay, so far now we're like 2.5 hours into this movie, right?
No, 65 minutes.
Okay. That dog is probably the least menacing dog in the film. It looks like you can just pet him. It's blurry for some reason here.
Well, this is what I mean about surrealism.
Yeah. You can't kill the master. If you, I mean, look at that mustache. Any man with that mustache can't be killed.
Well, now we're going to be subjected to more scenes of cars driving in one direction,
Okay.
then driving in the other direction for several minutes.
Sure is good to get away. Damn the rain.
Vacations are fine, but this one should be great.
Imagine you're in the movie theater in 1966. What would your reaction be at the end of the film? Would you clap? I guess I'd clap.
I guess a lot of people walked out of the premiere.
I would clap, but I would have to watch this movie, 5 times like I have to gain some appreciation for it, Because you kind of have to watch it again. Even if you think after the first time you never will. Give it a shot, people. It grows on you.
Well, you and I have a high tolerance for so-called bad entertainment.
Yeah, that's true.
We find the value in just about anything.
That is definitely true. There he is. There's the arty shot of inside the mirror of the car. Don't tell me the cinematographer wasn't into art here. Bum, bum, bum. Wouldn't it be really cool if you saw Torgo with a hand at the end of the movie? There they are.
Gee, do you ever go home?
They never well, once again, I got to be careful. This is live, all right? But they like to make out for a long time, don't they?
They never go home. I mean, they've been there all night.
Welcome.
He's the new Torgo.
Yep.
Is he gonna shuffle? Oh, the master is a little bit sick.
I am Michael. I take care of the place while the master is away.
Sun City Films presents the Norm Iris production. Manos, the Hands of Fate.
Round of applause.
Yes.
A masterpiece of bad cinema.
Hey, you have to work to make a movie like this. You don't really have, and the thing is, you don't know you're working to make a movie like this. So that's what's so amazing. Starring Tom Naiman and his mustache Pat. John Reynolds. I know a friend in North Ogden named John Reynolds.
Yeah, I gotta paint him again.
Bum, bum, bum. Diane Marie became a famous model, or semi-famous model.
Well, she's got a different last name now.
Yeah, she does. Hal Warren, cool name. I'll give him that much. But the film wasn't much.
So he was a fertilizer salesman and an insurance salesman?
Yeah, Jackie, she got put in a whip? That's not very fair. Joyce Miller is the girl in the car. Dun, 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 dun. I have to say at least the end credits are more imaginative in the beginning.
See, this will pad it out for at least another 5 minutes, and then they can say it's a 70-minute film.
Good Lord, this lasts 5 minutes?
I think.
I'd forgotten about that. Dun, dun, just groove to the music of this song. Frank Bernard Rosenblum was the key grip. The script supervisor was Norma Friedman. Tom Naiman doubled as set design. Jacqueline did the makeup. All of you have seen Glen Glen Incorporated for sound. Dun, dun. Harold P. Warren. Hal Warren.
Hal, yep.
Yeah.
The end.
The end.
Question mark.
Well, it wasn't the end of the film because it's become famous in a weird way, but yeah, it's kind of...
Thanks everyone for joining us.
Yeah, thanks a lot everybody for watching.
Boy, maybe the credits never will And
Steve, you got to keep this on till the credits are over. We have to be authentic here.
yeah,
all
I'm
right?
not turning it off yet. I just
Okay.
want to thank everybody. I think that's it now. This is all the restoration credits here. I don't know if we need to see this, so thanks everyone.
Thank you very much. Take care. Enjoy.